Good morning.
How's everyone this morning?
Wonderful.
All right. Morning.
Good morning. We got a few people popping in, so I'm just going to give it another minute. I want to thank everyone for submitting all the quarterly reports. I've already dug into some of them and I have sent a few questions out on the narratives, but I do appreciate all the details everyone is sharing with us. I just want to let you know that Dominique and I are starting this week again with the inputting into CT hires. So hold on, I need to mute somebody. And so I just want to let you know we might have some questions. Again, we are keeping track of the folks who we can't put into the module, but we are working towards counting as many people as possible. So just let you know that we're doing that. Following up from our convening, thank you again for those of you who are able to make it. I hope that everyone else got to review the slides that we talked about, but would love at the end of this if anyone has any feedback or questions or, there was a lot of good things talked about and discussed there. And I know that there was going to be some follow-up between some of the grantees. If there's anything we can do to help that facilitate that or provide any other support, please just let us know. And we have also, I know we weren't able to cover everything that was included in the 3 questions that Christina had set out ahead of time. We did get a lot of great feedback. I think across the board, since most of you have moved into the job placement phase of this project, that employer partnerships continues, job placement and securing employer partnerships has been a very common theme across the narratives and also across that feedback that we got for those 3 questions. So I just want to let you know we will be working on some strategies there in encouraging employer partnerships and then also how to sustain them, because one of the other things that's been repeated is that employers agree to hire your participants and they'll say whatever. And then when it comes time for the participants to apply, they get lost in the shuffle or the positions have changed somehow, that the training doesn't fully prepare them. And so again, if you have any situations, examples where those kinds of things are happening, please feel free to send me an email so that we can sort of focus our efforts. The other piece is, because we're pivoting to that, I asked Christina this morning to put some notes together on an AI, because AI is sort of it's the catchphrase of the season. So I asked her to just to talk about a resource and also to talk about Resume Lookbook again in our attempt to help you with the job placement and thinking outside the box a little bit. So I'm going to pass it to Christina.
Okay. You can all hear me. I'm just hoping, correct? We're doing 2 screens here. All right, got it. So let me share my screen. Ashley, just because you're on my sight line, can you confirm you can see from the slideshow?
I can see, yeah, perfect.
Thank you. And there are some of you, hi everybody, good morning. There are some of you that are on the call that may have seen these first 6 bullet points from a Good Jobs Challenge office hours, so my apologies. But it's also because of that office hour and at least 1 or 2 grantees commenting that they have put together their version of a resume lookbook of their participants and gotten it to employers with some success, just opening up a conversation that wasn't happening before. So as a result of that feedback, we definitely wanted to share it with all of you here. These 6 steps are just the abbreviated headlines and topics. We will be sending you a document with some suggested steps in each of these categories. So just, again, we do have a half-hour meeting, so I'm going to move through it, but most importantly, send you the information as a follow-up. So For the resume lookbook, the key is going to be asking yourself why you're putting this together. You're putting it together to give to employers at a job fair, at a industry meeting. Are you giving it to them via digitally? Are you giving it to them so they contact you to contact participants, right? So those are some of the questions that you're going to want to ask yourself as you put together the concept of a resume lookbook. You would ideally want all the resumes in that you are collecting to be then put together in a clean and consistent format. Excuse me. You could use a standard Word document, converting it to PDF. You could use Adobe. There's a variety of platforms that you could use. Obviously, AI is something we're going to talk about next. But the key, though, with a resume lookbook, if you're giving it to a group of employers, is consistency. That will help them review the resumes that are in there. You'll want to have a template. So, for example, if you've been training folks in healthcare, then you could put together a summary of what trainings potentially this candidate or a candidate could have taken, where the training took place, what the certifications received, so that they also have a good sense of what the training and the experience are that the candidates in the lookbook may have. Your design principles, of course, there you could get fancy, but you also want to get pretty consistent across the board. And also, given work experiences of the clients you might be working with and the participants, they may not have extensive work backgrounds. So you'll be able to get away with a clean, sleek design. Organizing the lookbook and structuring it clearly. So, for example, our colleagues at Capital Workforce Partners simply put copies of resumes in a folder with a description of the program, and that's what they handed candidates. Wendy, you're out of my line of sight. I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that. Don't mean to put you on the spot, and it's okay if you don't want to, but I know that you all had used it, so.
Yeah, I think Maureen put it together, so I don't have too much to add to it. But it did get some traction with newer employers as well.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. And then obviously you're going to want to share and promote it. It could be hard copy, it could be digital. You will want to set up a secure way, of course, to send that off. So again, this is just something to get you thinking about a collection of resumes of your participants that you can give to employers. You'll get the handout with more details after the meeting. Any questions? So if you see hands up, go up, let me know. Thank you. Okay. So the next 3 slides, again, we will be sending you actually a pretty robust PDF. And the PDF was put together by the National Association of State Workforce Boards and National Association of Workforce Boards. Lots of different agencies with national and workforce, so I had a big cheat sheet so I could get them right. But this is something that these organizations did in conjunction with Microsoft to put together a generative AI guide for career coaches. So I'm going to show you, Sarah and I isolated the 3 probably most important prompts and use cases. I am not an expert in AI, used AI myself, found it really productive in a very surprising and energizing way. So I've gotten over my fear for any of you that are still afraid of it. And I also want to mention, in addition to this guide that we're going to be giving you, there will be additional training available for nonprofits around AI and career development that is coming out of the Office of Workforce Development. That is a few months away, but there will be a training that we will be providing through a separate funded program that OWS will be running. So again, simply a resource to have in your toolbox. So the use case obviously is what you and your client would be wanting to use AI for. And the key with AI is the prompt, is asking the right prompt to get the right information. I'm not going to read this to you. A, we're in a short meeting, but B, I imagine you can all see the screen and we will be sending it as a follow-up. But as an example here, I think one of the things that's important, right, is your participants may be location bound. So, the prompt about finding opportunities based on role and location may be the priority, right? So part of the conversation with your clients is what's the priority of the information you want to get out of AI? So this isn't just for resume building, but it's also for job opportunities. And I will say that since this is a Microsoft developed guide, it is using their Microsoft tool, which I just drew a blank on.
Copilot.
Copilot. Thank you, Sarah. So they do use Copilot. But honestly, I know I'm being recorded, these prompts will work in any AI tool, whether it's Gemini or ChatGPT as well, right? So again, I think also finding information about a specific company. So if you're working with clients that have various barriers or maybe challenges in their past, asking, for companies that are reentry friendly. I think there's a lot of information that you can gather from this and then use with your clients. And so it's also a tool for you to use with your clients and then a tool for you to give your clients. Preparing for job interviews. I tell a funny story. My oldest son was preparing for a job interview, and he's the one that said, "Oh yeah, I just asked AI what would be good questions in an interview for X, Y, and Z job." And he literally got back questions that were used on an interview. So again, no longer afraid of AI, trying to make it my friend. So here are a list of potential questions. Customized skills assessment based on the job description. I thought that was really interesting. Another example of using AI is putting in the job description and asking what the core competencies are, and then listing those core competencies on a resume or in a cover letter, right? Did everybody follow that connection? I think I said that really fast, but putting in the job description and saying, can you generate the core competencies for this job description? And then whatever AI gives you, you then obviously edit and make sure it's accurate, and then place it into a resume or just use it in language for an interview as well. Coaching on an interview process, soft skills, you all are experts in many of these areas, especially around the soft skills and getting folks ready. No questions?
Mm-mm.
No pause. The last slide is actually about job applications. And I will say, as Sarah mentioned, we reviewed all the information you gave us in the 3 questions. I'm going to double check if there are folks who didn't answer our survey. I will send that to you to also get your feedback. But one of the things that we are trying to put together is sort of the underbelly of HR conversation. So that sounded like something that everyone was really interested in, is really understanding how HR and especially some application systems work, and how to get your candidates and get your participants through some of those gatekeeping tools. But here are some suggestions from this particular guide. Generating a sample resume for a particular type of position. You could probably even go as deep as for someone with this training. And that can provide and help prepare a resume. Also, if you have clients, which many of you may have, given the nature of who our target population is, you may have folks that have worked in one industry before and now are transferring to another. So asking for some general information on transferable skills to help within a job application will also be of help. Again, these are just guides. These are not mandates. Our goal is to give you tools for your toolbox. The page, it's about 12 pages, and there's about 6 other areas that it suggests how to use the guide. And I will say some of them is just a basic AI, not necessarily job development. The latter 5 or 6 are about job development, but the first few really just are a basic intro. So I hope you find it of help for yourself, your clients, and your organizations.
Any questions, comments before we wrap up? I don't know if Ashley or Tracy, you got anything that you want to address. Feel free to hop in. I do want to thank everyone for helping in our compliance, the Connecticut DOL's compliance with the UI forms. I know there's a few that are still hanging. And so we will continue to work on that. Honestly, we just got a list of numbers by region. And so we've been trying to send the right people to the right grantee. So I thank you for your patience and your assistance in us meeting that that requirement of DOL for the Career Connect project. I also just want to let you know that as part of compliance, we will also be doing site visits. We're hoping to schedule those starting mid to end of August and September. We would like to come in. We also know that there'll be site visits for Good Jobs Challenge, so we are going to coordinate that. So that is the least amount of time on your end by covering all of the bases for compliance. So be looking for that information to be coming out shortly. Anything else from the OWS team that I missed?
Nothing specifically for me other than thank you all for continuing to participate and heading into year 4. And it's lovely to see you all.
Right. Any grantees have anything before we wrap up? All right.
No.
We appreciate your time and we will see you next month. Thank you, everyone.
See ya.
Have a great day.
All right, have a good one.